We will be live in a few minutes.
Hi, Ballux.
Alright, beautiful to have you back. We are already live as we start the lobby and head to Monza, Italy. Scientists, what do you expect from this track, from this race with the championship on the line?
Lots of bold overtaking, hopefully. Monza really suits that sort of strategy. Long straights, DRS, the slipstream's really powerful. I think the guys that are battling towards the top end for the championship are going to maybe try and take some risks, try and make some bold overtakes. But oh wow, it's raining. Oh my, this changes the complexion of the whole race, Ballux.
That's horrific for some, but especially with the championship on the line, it's a pretty do or die for some of these drivers today, because Nick is missing out. He's leading the championship, and D'Cunha is about 10 points behind him, so he could make up some very good points here and take the lead of the championship, as also Spooner is missing out, who's in third in the championship, and Chatty Duck also. So we have some guys left today who are not competing for the championship, but there are some other guys who could rise to the occasion and just put some performance in the rain.
Yeah, so if the Constructors' Championship's looking pretty tasty, particularly in the midfield, not a lot of points separating fourth all the way down to the 10th team, so it'll be interesting to see who takes advantage of these conditions in the rain in Monza. We just want to welcome Jim Ranium, Wilmar to the grid. They're making their debuts in the Tier 2 Championship. So yeah, many thanks to them for joining, which is already becoming a very popular grid now with more people joining up.
Yeah, it's beautiful that the grid is growing from week to week, and we have some very spicy and special plans for the next season as we head to the end of the season. But now we have 3, 4, 5 red lights going out. On pole, starting the Italian GP in the wet, going for the first corner. We could have some massive overtaking, and we have our first overtake of Basketball Boy going into the lead into the first corner, and we have a crash already.
It's one of the Renaults.
Oh, it's flying wings everywhere and crashes everywhere. Resetting on track, trying to get the car around the first chicane.
Oh my word. And G-Mac, who just pulled a move on the Alpha, I think it was Jake, but yeah, carnage into the first corner. Did we expect no less in Monza, Alex?
Yeah, and I'm missing Twitch Insta. He's in third. He started the race on pole, lost the position into the first chicane, into the first corner, but Now we have Basketball Boy in the lead, Corleone in second with a beautiful start, mixing it up and growing on track like last week, where he had a beautiful first race, then missing out the points in the second one with a little bit of bad luck. But it seems like Basketball Boy has his car and his mindset suited for these conditions on the full wet tires and leading in the first lap already by 2 seconds.
Yeah, so Basketball Boy, he started I think in P2, so he's done well to hold it together. And we've got a yellow flag and a Ascari. I'm quite sure we've got at the back, we've got the 2 racing points side by side. Acuna, who is battling for the championship, down in 17th place, so he's got a lot of work to do to make up ground. We've got more position changes. Coupe moving up a position. Wilmar has made a great start, 3 positions from the back, as well as Germanium. Angry Orange, 9 places off the start, Alex.
Beautiful. And it's very, very tricky to see if someone's coming into the pits for some changes. And we have a spin! Oh. It's Aces versus Kings into the chicane. And SJ takes the advantage and rises to the occasion, overtakes him. I don't know if there was some contact. We will see afterwards in the incident section, but on the first side it seems like it was a clean overtake, but you never know. In these conditions everything can happen.
Well, Alex, if you look up at the front, we've got Ferrari, the Don Corleone, second place. The Tifosi are cheering on their homeboy in this race.
Yeah, he's reducing the gap, and in beautiful fashion. It seems like he has, because he's losing out on the straights, but into the corners he gains a beautiful advantage on Basketball Boy. Let's see how that develops.
We've got an overtake. DFAC and SJ going into Ascari chicane. DFAC made a very bold dive bomb, and SJ actually has taken DFAC back, so that was good driving between the pair of them. DFAC maybe cut the corner slightly, but now he's coming back at SJ. No DRS in the rain, of course. He's just using the grip to its fullest extent, and SJ and DFAC gets, and SJ gets pushed wide in Parabolica. DFAC pulls his way through onto the start-finish straight, and nice move from DFAC. SJ back down to 7th place.
Sanchez, what do you think about possible tire changes during the race? Is there a possibility to run down these tires so hard that you have to...
And we've got a dive, we've got a corner and SJ's had to give the position back. By the looks of it, he's probably had the warning.
I bet he had the warning.
So Aces has got a 5-second time penalty for cutting the corner. To answer your question, Balix, in a wet race such as this, you could probably get away without doing a mandatory pit stop, I believe. Unless the weather changes, of course, but at the moment the rain doesn't show any signs of letting up.
Yeah, and it's one thing to change the tires because of that condition, but the other thing is, if you damage your wing and lose time on track, is there a possibility to gain that time back, to change tires, change your wing, get some clean air and do the overtakes?
And we've got some incidents further back and around the 10th, 11th, 12th positions. I think Aces versus Kings, who's had an incident patch race so far, was caught up in an incident with Germanium and Vans in the Williams, and Wilmar in 9th place is pulling out a gap on Vans in 10th. And I think there's an issue with SJ. He's 1 lap down and his Williams is lagging really badly, and I think that's what's catching a lot of people out. While Corleone is on fire. He's set the fastest lap.
SJ saying goodbye right before Parabolica.
He's done a Charles Leclerc, by the look of it.
Yeah, but he pulled it out in the wet, and we got someone into the pits. I think it's Shippers. It is Shippers. He's going into the pits maybe for a change of his front wing.
Corleone is taking the lead, Alex, off camera. We didn't see it. Well, I didn't see it anyway. But Corleone set the fastest lap in the previous lap there, and he has passed Basketball Boy. The Ferrari leads at Monza. The Tifosi are going wild in the grandstands.
I'm gutted to not have catched that, but now I'm at Corleone's view, and it seems like he has the pace. And we got a safety car. We got a safety car.
I was just saying we had a full yellow on the circuit, so it must be a safety car, and SJ has picked up 2 time penalties, a 10-second one and a 5-second one, and Well, I think he's just really going to gather data for the Williams team now for the rest of this race, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like
data in the wet rain, and but now safety car. Now, will these guys go on and try and put on fresh wet tyres? That would be my call. But obviously, I'm not them. I believe it's far too wet for winter tyres.
Yeah.
They're not going to get you anywhere in this weather.
It's very interesting to see who's taking the risk to go to the pits and change his tyres, because we got the first boys with Corleone, Basketball Boy, Twitch Insta, and GMAC, and Angry Orange, who have a pretty big gap, and they're not coming to the pits. They're staying out. And I think it's the right decision to get track position on here.
Track position, yeah.
Track
absolutely.
position is everything in these conditions.
Unless you've got front wing damage, when you really should pit to fix that, because you've got nothing to lose in the end. And actually, DFAC pits. So DFAC is you and Jake, and actually, so
yeah, see,
with better grip potentially for later on in the race. Maybe they've got, well, Jake's getting a front wing change. The Alpha Tauri, I think, is it also, they must have had a front wing change, because Alpha Tauri's never come out behind the Red Bull. But wow, those crazy first 5 laps. I think I'm actually glad we have a safety car to actually take stock of what's actually happened, Alex.
yeah, it's crazy right now what happens here. It's not the typical race in Monza we all expected, especially beginning with the rain and then the overtakes at the start. And I have to say, Corleone in first is kind of crazy.
He's well, I must say he's kept a cool head. I think he started around about P6 or 7 on the grid, P6 actually, so he's made up 5 places off the start, so he's done fantastically well to make up positions without incident and build up a little bit of a gap on Basketball Boy before the safety car came out. It'll be interesting to see, will he keep a cool head under the restart. Also, we should give props to Angry Orange, 9 places off the start, and Jim Ranium, who started in down at the very back, 11 places off the start. So fantastic driving from Jim Ranium. And we've got a safety car. We've got an issue behind the safety car. GMAC has a 5-second penalty for a collision with Angry Orange, so that will need to be reviewed after the race, I imagine.
Let's see who's angry now.
Yes. I can't think of any citrus fruit this jokes, but he must be the angriest of all the oranges out there in Monza. We've got more penalties being dished down now. SJ had another one. DFAC's now got a 3-second penalty. I don't know why he would have got a 3-second penalty. He must have cut the corner under the safety car. And we've got just looking at some position changes. We've got Doradin. Doradin's had an issue behind the safety car as well, and he's lost positions because of it.
No, that's devastating. That's the only thing you don't want. Lose the position behind the safety car because of an error.
More pit stops. DFAC's pitting again. Oh my word, both Alpha Tauris are in the pits, double stacking Alex. Oh my word, this is the last thing you want.
You won't believe it.
So Shippers is in getting a front wing change, and DFAC is stuck right behind, waiting. And we've got more pit stops happening. It's all chaos in this race.
There must have been an incident between these guys, because we have 5 guys right now in the pits to change their wings. It's devastating, but the race is not over. Safety car is still out, but half of the race is just done. So you got some time to redeem yourself.
Yeah, and Doradin's now... Oh, I don't believe it. The safety car is in this lap, Alex, and half the field are still stuck in the pits.
It's unbelievable. It's a high risk in the rain to go into the pits and believe that the safety car won't come in, because now they're paying the bill for that. I bet Shipper, Psychopath, Papa Whiskey, DFOG and SJ won't make it to the rest of the field.
And crucially, D'Acunha as well. D'Acunha is just coming through Ascari, and there's a gaggle of cars at Parabolica, then 3 or 4 cars just coming out of Ascari, and then some all the way back down at the Roja chicane.
And Corleone is now restarting the race. Basketball Boy behind him. He must be using all of his ERS.
We've got a free car battle going into the chicane, Ballots.
Corleone still leading. Oh, and we got Corleone had to cut the chicane.
Oh, he must have misjudged his braking point.
Oh, and he overtook Basketball Boy, slowing down, and God. Twitch getting him.
Oh my word! Oh my
God! Oh, it's chaos! It's chaos! It's chaos in Italy.
I don't know how the hell GMAC got through. 4 people there on the Curva Grande. Unbelievable.
Man.
So GMAC leads. Twitch is second. Angry Orange up to third. In all that chaos, I noticed Duradin had a penalty for behind the safety car. The 2 racing points backline. And look at Corleone. He's desperate to make up for his error into turn 1. We've got another yellow flag, I think.
And it seems like it seems like they're slowing down side by side. No, we got Vance Racing going into Corleone. What's happening in Monza? No one expected the rain. No one expected racing like this, and it's shattering for some of these boys as they have to go to the pits.
Right, Ballots, I just saw at the bottom there, we've got 5-second penalties for Angry Orange, 5-second penalty for Basketball Boy for ignoring yellow flags. Oh my word.
Right now they're ignoring everything.
And another penalty for ignoring yellow flags, my word. I think the incident channel in the Discord is just going to back up so much, and we've got another 3-car wide drag race down into turn 1.
It seems like we have a virtual safety car, but no one's really trying to. What is going on into the chicane? Boys, it's yellow flags and you're overtaking each other. What is happening?
Fuel course yellow. It's a fuel course yellow, but there's no.
What is happening?
There is no virtual safety car, from what we understand. There is no fuel safety car. GMAC, meanwhile, has built up an 8-second lead ahead of Angry Orange.
He's clapping his hands. He's clapping his hands in his car.
And Ballots, I think we've got a fundamental issue with this race. There's so many penalties being dished out for yellow flags being ignored, and now the track's back to full green, apart from sector 1 at the Roja chicane, where we've got, I think it looks like an Alpha Tauri at the back.
I think we can rely on track positions here. It's penalties all over. Some of these guys have more penalties than laps done in this race. It's unbelievable.
We're going to have some DQs. We're going to have some disqualifications if they're not careful because of the amount of penalties. It's just unreal. I've never seen anything like it, Ballots.
The good thing for Di Cunha is he's back in the points. He's in 10th. Let's sum it up a little bit after the chaos and madness that went on here. We got GMAC in first, 10.5 seconds in front of Twitch Insta, and we have a next overtake. It's Vilma against Corleone.
Yes.
They're going at it.
They touched, but I think they kept it together.
Side by side on the pit straight, going into the first chicane. I bet $5 there will be a collision. Here we go, it's a touch. And they're keeping it clean. I won't believe it. They kept it clean. They just kept it clean.
Oh, Germanium's gone wide going around Curva Grande. He tried to make an overtake on Vans. He got away with it though. He got away with it just. That was very scary for Germanium there. He was having a very good race, up 12 positions from his starting position in P6. But GMAC is just running away with this now, Ballots. He's nearly 11 seconds ahead.
And it's still...
He's setting the fastest lap.
It's still end plates flying everywhere. And Wilma gets Germanium into 6th position. So, scientists, let's have a little breather and sum it up a little bit. We got GMAC in first, Twitch Insta in second, Angry Orange in third, Basketball Boy in fourth, Vance in fifth, Wilma up to 6th now, Germanium in 7th, Corleone in 8th, Jake, the man who came back in 9th, Di Cunha in 10th, Aces versus Kings making up a place into 11th, Duradan in 12th, Shippers 13th, Psychopath 14th, D-Fuck in 15th, Coop, Papa Whiskey and SJ rounding it up 16th, 17th and 18th.
I really don't know what happened to DB Cooper. He was up in the top 10 for quite some time, so I don't know what's happened to him.
Oh, we got a lot of pit stops. We got a lot of pit stops right now.
Oh,
we got Basketball and Angry Orange. Both giving up they giving up the track position.
Penalty. Angry Orange is serving a penalty in the pits, as is Basketball Boy, so they must have had the warning come. This will be the yellow flag warning that they got earlier on, Alex. They would have been told to serve it in the pits, I imagine.
The question is, how many seconds will they stand there? But believe me, they won't be standing there for 5 seconds.
And Corleone has got past Germanium. Corleone up to P4. Wilmar is now up to P3. A fantastic debut from Wilmar. Germanium also P5. Hats off to those two guys. D'Acunha is slowly climbing the order, Alex. He's up to P7 now, which is crucial for the championship.
It is. And GMAC is climbing up the ladder. He was maybe 20 points behind Spooner, and he's coming. He got the 25 points right now in the pocket.
What was that? Twitch, no pun intended, was getting very twitchy coming out of Ascari. Nearly lost it, but did well to keep a hold of it. And now he's actually built up a 10-second lead on Wilmar. Obviously because of the pit stops.
We got another incident between Shippers and Duradan. Well, you can't say they kept it clean.
No,
and
Shippers was on the wall.
It's payday. It's payday. It seemed like Shippers put Duradan into the wall. Payday for Duradan. Shippers sent himself into the wall. Out of the points right now.
Oh my word! I mean, just when you think it's about to settle down, Alex, something else happens.
No.
Out of the ordinary. It's unbelievable.
Let the settle down be for the racing gods. We can. It's Jake now up to 6th, behind Germanium and Corleone, and he's smelling blood into the water right now here in Monza. But he got D'Acunha behind him, and D'Acunha is eager to get the position to climb up.
And look at Germanium all over the back of Corleone as they head down into the Roja chicane. It's all about keeping a cool head.
And Jake keeping the position in front of D'Acunha right now, but we got a very spicy battle here between Corleone and Germanium, Jake and D'Acunha. They're closing the gaps.
These guys, the guys behind the respective cars will be wishing they had DRS because they could just fly right through, and then they're just having to rely on the grip of their tyres and the cool head of being able to keep the car on the road and not accelerate too hard coming out of the corners. And we've got another yellow flag in sector 2.
Yeah, it's SJ. I'm right at SJ, and he just lost it into Lasmo. Oh, it's not Lasmo. He's not even at Lasmo.
It's the Roja chicane coming out Curva Grande.
Yeah, and he lost it in Curva Grande, and that's sadly that's it for him.
I'm right on board with D'Acunha. He's right on the back of Jake, going down to the Retifilio chicane, turn 1. He's probably using all the ERS he can muster, and D'Acunha is going to put the move on Jake, and he does it even before they reach the corner. That's really brilliant driving from D'Acunha.
And they kept it clean. They kept it clean. And D'Acunha has one big advantage over Jake and mostly over all the other guys. He has a complete front wing. Even if he has penalties, all the guys have penalties, but he's got a clean front wing, and that could be a big advantage here.
And the racing point of Germanium and the Ferrari they're side by side going into the Lesmo, and Germanium wisely backs out of that, and he's probably just biding his time to pull in the slipstream of Corleone and try and take him for 4th position. It's less than half a second between those two, and then Aces versus Kings is closed right up on the back of Jake now after Jake's battle with D'Acunha. So Aces versus Kings, who has quite a lot of penalties, I believe, is trying his best to make up positions. Vans was up in P5 at one point. He's now down in P9. He's having quite a steady race. He might benefit from all the penalties that have been dished out.
And the boys who already pitted, like Angry Orange and Basketball Boy, they're climbing up the rankings. They're now in 12th and 13th. And I'm very surprised, kind of shocked, that Wilma is in 3rd position. How did he end up there?
Well, the pit stops for people in front, but I think he must have just kept a cool head and avoided all the damaging front wing and maybe preserving the life of his tires.
We got Corleone against Germanium again.
Yes. Oh, and nearly. Oh, that was. Germanium thought about the move, I think, there, but backed out the last. Yeah, I was on board with it, Ballots, when I was talking about. Who was I talking about? I've lost track of who I'm talking about.
You can lose track here. The guys already lose track. So we got now Germanium on Corleone. On the inside, backing off. Corleone sticking in 4th position. So we got a battle of 5 cars for P4. But Aces versus Kings and Jake are battling so hard that they lose. Yeah, they lose the position to the others. Because it's now only Corleone, Germanium, and Ticunia who are fighting for 4th. And Jake and Aces versus Kings had to back off.
Ticunia got a really nice exit coming out of the second Lesmo, and he's now right on the back of Germanium and G-Mac and all the current on all this action balance.
We missed the finish. G-Mac won the race. Twitch Insta in second for now, but Wilma. Well, we can't give a fuck about the rankings right now. It's about the penalties. It's Wilma crossing the line in 3rd, but he's switching up to 2nd.
So G-Mac had a 5-second penalty unserved, but that didn't affect his final race time. Wilmer didn't have any penalties.
Ticunia gaining and losing. It's Jake on 4th. Ticunia in 5th. Corleone in 6th. Vance in 7th. Aces versus Kings and Germanium in 8th and 9th for now. Dorada in 10th. So both racing points would score here, but Psychopath didn't cross the line. Let's see if something's switching up right here.
Doradan's got a penalty for 5 seconds, but Psychopath must have.
It's done. Back, DB Coop finishing in 12th, D-Fuck in 13th, Angry Orange and Basketball Boy still together but in 14th and 15th, not for the 17th, and SJ 2 laps down, but he might have crossed the line earlier. But it seems like he's now in Parabolica, coming onto the pit straight and finishing the race 2 laps down.
My word, Bollocks, I mean...
That's a wrap. But it seems like we have a little glitch here. We have a little glitch, scientists. It seems like SJ crossed the line and nothing happened. So there might be a glitch again. But let's go through the rankings and talk to me about some of these guys' races. We got G-Mac in 1st position. That's kind of surprise.
Well, G-Mac is a very level-headed driver, I think. We know how quick he is, but I think he just kept the coolest head of the lot, and that's why he's ended up winning this race. He kept out of any incidents, and, well, he was the fastest guy on track at the end of the day. Wilmar in P2 making his debut, that is a fantastic result, and I imagine he's going to get driver of the day with 14 places. And then Twitch third. Another strong showing from Twitch getting on the podium.
Yeah. Scientists, right now I'm scrolling through the comments and Roy Harvey asked, and I think it's a very good question, how many cars are gonna spin on the inside of curb, or on the inside curb of turn 5 in Hungary? After this race in Monza, I would say, even if we have dry conditions, I would say even more. Harvey responded to himself, 8. I bet it's more.
My Achilles heel. And there is Wilmar confirmed as driver of the day. Fantastic performance. I have to say, well done to Germanium for getting 2 points, I think, at 9th place in the Racing Point. So that was another debutant in the league getting points. Fantastic. Right. Angry Orange and Basketball Boy, they were right up at the top at the very beginning of this race, so they must be gutted to not get any points out of this race.
And there was a winning selfie for G-Mag here, Monza, cheering with the crowd, popping the champagne, get some into his eye. Man, he has to open these eyes again for a new track in Hungary.
Well,
don't get that champagne all over his eyes.
I tell you what, these guys will be praying that Hungary is a dry race and there's no wet conditions.
Yeah, the bad thing is there is no Jesus who helps them. It's just getting into the race and adapt to the conditions and adapt to racing. So, scientists, we have a lot of penalties. Only 2 guys who didn't get a penalty. It's Wilmer and Jake. So you have to say, Jake on his comeback in 4th position without any penalties. Kind of a perfect race for him.
Impressive.
Just missing out.
That's really.
Just missing out on the
really
podium.
Impressive. Yeah, really impressive. Particularly not picking up any penalties, and pretty much everyone, I think, at some point in that race picked up a penalty. So, well done to them.
Yeah,
well done to Jake, rather.
All right, as we finish now in Monza, we head to Budapest in Hungary, and we open up a new live stream in a few minutes for that. So, see you in a few minutes, guys. See you in a few minutes, scientists. And
yes.
let that sink in.